Hello, hello, hello. This is Happy Valley Hobbies, and these are hobbies that make me happy. Uh, let's see. Oh, gotta change that to live chat. Nobody's here yet at this point, so. But yeah, something. Oh, that's not good. Hello there, Kyle. Thank you for coming in. Apparently, YouTube decided to go, hey, something went wrong. So let me, I guess, refresh. Something went wrong with YouTube. So it looks like I'm refreshing. And it's going there. It's got that. Da, 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 da. Yeah, the thing is, my hard drive's pegged at 100%, so that might be causing troubles tonight. All right. So it looks like it's thinking. Okay, it looks. We got the video back up and running. Well, I don't know if it's specifically you. I know my computer is starting to get not happy. I have an odd feeling that the battery pack is not happy anymore, because all of a sudden part of my on this side over here, it seems to puff up a bit. So I do not know if something internally is going awry. But all right, let's do that. Squeeze this a little bit so we can actually. All right, sorry for the confusion on everything. But well, it looks like I got it back to. Well, still the hard drive is still pegged at 100%. So right now that is the weakest link at this point. Yeah, when I bought this computer originally, it had a hard drive and a solid state drive. Basically, the solid state drive has the operating system on there, and everything else is on the hard drive, which is a much larger capacity, but it's also slower. And depending on what update, depends on how it, what happens. There's times that there was about 3 or 4 months where it's like turn on Firefox and it didn't even bother. I thought there was something wrong. It's like, why is it not accessing the hard drive? But then all of a sudden it wound up constantly running running the operation. I only have, let's see, right now I think I only have 5 windows open, but when the processes, let's see, processes has to think a little bit because the hard drive's at 100%. Yeah, there's like 19 instances of Firefox, but I only have 5 windows open, so I do not know why or which tab is causing it. It'd be nice to know which tab it is, so I can turn around and go like, okay, we're not going to talk to you we're not going to talk to you anymore. Because there's a couple of them that they're using. Let's see, there's one that's using almost 20% of the CPU. Then there's another one using 12, another one using 14, and it's like going like, they're on idle. Why are they using so much power? Why are they accessing this constantly? So it's one of those things I got to figure out. One thing I am in the process of doing eventually is starting to learn on how to use Linux. This is currently a Windows machine. Well, howdy. Absolutely, Nissy J. Now, Nissy, you're the one that's doing Sidetrack Sunday tonight, correct? Yep, absolutely. Hey, if you're on the road, it's okay to turn around and just lurk, because, well, it's one of those things of, making sure you're not hitting things is more important than trying to type in the chat. Yep, nice. All right. So, well, thank you for stopping in at the unofficial and probably unauthorized pre-show of Sidetrack Sunday. I sort of decided to pick when I think when I started this YouTube channel, I was bouncing around a little bit, and then I wound up getting employed, and it just made more sense to do Sunday nights. And I try to do the 6:45 to 7:45 to basically give people 15 minutes between shows, so you're not, it's like, oh, you're doing this live stream, and then you're doing this live stream, and then this live stream. It's like, give people a time to turn around and do human things like grab a snack or relieving snacks. But right now, let's see. It looks like, okay, the hard drive's not pinned at 100, so theoretically that should be okay. That's the thing is, sometimes when it pegs up to 100%, it winds up snacky snacks. Yes, they are very important. But it's like, try to, I mean, for myself going live, you don't really want to be snacking during the presentation, unless you I would have to say, unless you have a food channel, that's probably not the thing to do. But yeah, it's like when my computer's pegged at, the hard drive is pegged at 100%, I've actually turned around and it's so focused on the hard drive that it ignores everything else, including the internet connection. And it's like, oh, you lost your internet connection. Why? Because it's playing with the hard drive. So I'm thinking about using Linux, mainly to just try to have options. It's one of those things of say for some reason the hard drive finally gives out on this. I want to be able to grab an older laptop, unplug this one, put the other laptop in, which will definitely be slower. So my plan is to use an early version of Linux, something that can still do video conferencing and all that, and be able to plug it in and have something to run while hopefully not needing a new computer. Being unemployed right now, no, I splurge. Let's see. I think the last time I bought something, I bought a bunch of 16-inch gauge nails, so it would have axles for the project that I'm working on. And only to find out that I already had 16 gauge nails, a different style of nail, but it was still 16 inches. And fun fact, I'm not sure if this is the true throughout everything. is that right now I'm re-gauging a locomotive to from standard gauge to 6-foot gauge, and the drive axles are 1/8, and seeing that the pony trucks in the front are 1/16, and so is the tender wheels, or the axles for the tender wheels. I don't know if that's the standard. Don't know. Possibly with modern. These are Mantua, so these are I want to say built in the 70s. So it's one of those things of maybe since it was being made in America, that's why they went with 1/8 and 1/16. But it's like with modern stuff, being made in China, I don't know if they converted to metric or not. Don't know. When you're doing 1876, there's not that much new equipment that's available. I think Bachmann's the only one that I'm aware of that does. Let's see. Still want to get a computer so I can free up my phone? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like I'm probably one of the odd ones here, with our community that has more than one monitor. I got that monitor over there is, that has the test manager on there. That's why I know that, the hard drive's at 100%. I've got YouTube on this one monitor over here. Both of the YouTube chat, and then the front one has StreamYard. One thing I want to see about doing is also figuring out how to record and then edit. It seems that to me, StreamYard is not set up for recording, so I have to figure out a recording platform to turn around and do this. I have been when I was helping New Tracks Modeling. That's where I met Heath from Humanity Junction, who #blame Heath was the one that pushed me to do, live streams. Trying to figure out, for the first month, what to do and etc. and all that. And then I got employed. So I didn't really focus on, okay, how do I optimize this, that, and etc. And lately it's been more of a therapeutic thing for me to, hang out with people. Because I moved here to Vermont just before the pandemic hit. So haven't really been able to make close friends. Even the young gentleman that helped me find this apartment, because his father's the landlord. For a while there, he had got one of those small little transit vans. It's sort of a commercial van, but it's a small one, and decided to do van life for a while. So he disappeared for a while, and all of a sudden, I think he's back. Not sure. The club that or the organization that we hang out with, Presley Bass. Yeah, even Brass doesn't have that much for the area. I have found out recently through Discord that there is somebody that's doing Lehigh Valley in 6-foot gauge, and they're using HO scale mechanisms to re-gauge everything. I basically asked them, so are you using S gauge or S scale mechanisms? Because S scale is 1 millimeter wider than HO. I'm calling it W6. The main reason why I do W6 instead of B6 is that when I was trying to figure out exactly how to identify what broad gauge should be, because there's no standard at this point. That might be the next hot issue for the NMRA. Is like, how do we say broad gauge? Will it be B for broad gauge, or will it be W for wide gauge? And apparently, someone pointed me in a direction of an O gauge forum where there was a debate between P48, which is the prototypical scale of O scale, and OW5, which, if you're using O gauge, it's actually to 5 foot gauge, not standard gauge. That's sort of what Lionel started and all that, and I'm assuming it was either easier that way. But people who want actually, it's like there was a bunch of different standards that came together to make Proto 48. Some people turned around and they did they took the wheels and made them proper sized and all that, much narrower, instead of the I want to say the O gauge equipment was designed for kids, and basically put them together and have them more reliable, running over carpets and all that stuff. And that's same thing with S high rail. It's the same way. Is that big huge wheels. It's designed to being used for people who badly put the track together. And what happens there is in order to make it look nicer and more photogenic, I forgot exactly all the different variations, but there was one that narrowed the wheels. There was another one that had the correct track gauge. There was another one, it's like there was all these things that had, tweaking O gauge to make it look nicer or correct, or, insert, reason for doing stuff. Yes, basically Proto 48 is O scale. That was the first one that started the prototype series, because they were, trying to, reconcile the quote wrong gauge, the wrong size wheels, to make it more realistic, like HO and N is. That's how Proto 48 came about. And then after Proto 48 came out, then it's like Proto 47, Proto insert smaller gauge, because I want to not necessarily toy trains, but trains that are designed for younger kids. They have a tendency to have the big wide wheels, the deep flanges and all that, to make them so they stay on the track better. But if you're don't want to say professional, because there are people who are professional, and then there's very good amateurs in making track. They can turn around and they are they still have 3 rail and 2 rail. The biggest, they call it 3 rail. I want to call it 3 stud. And that's Anthony Dodds, the Model Train Outsider, which has Merklin stuff. And Merklin, they call it 3 rail. But I want to say is that it's set up like 3 rail, but instead of having a third rail, they have like little nubs that come between the 2 rails. And instead of using rollers, they use, I want to say, skis. Let's see, I think it was yesterday. I was back on track, and I had a whole. They were showing off somebody's layout, which was 3 rail. The interesting thing is that they actually had. I forgot exactly what track that they used, but The third rail was actually painted black, so you didn't really see it, and also the layout didn't have that Plastaville look to it. It's like basically sometimes you see three rail layouts, and you go, okay, you can pick out. It's like, oh, that's that operating set. That's that. That's that building. That's that building. That's it's like, you can almost sometimes date. It's like, oh, that was used. That was a building that was built between here. These two dates, and it looks like this particular gentleman, he used more scale. Not basically not Lionel. It was, I think it was more. I know Atlas does O scale. There's Williams, Mike's Train's House. It's one of those things that they built the layout, and it looks more like an HO scale layout. If you didn't really look close enough to see, oh, there's a black rail in between everything, and also the wheels are very out of scale. But yeah, it's like they still do. Lionel, that's their thing, making three rail. Mike's Train House and Menards. But those are the ones that I'm aware of. If anyone else has, no other three rail, I think my assumption is that Atlas does. Oh, excuse me. Does three rail also, because they do O scale two rail. So my assumption is that they also do the three rail because it's an easy changeover. Especially if you design it that way to run both. Yep. Then you got third rail brass, correct? Because I remember years ago actually seeing. The interesting thing is it was third rail brass, but the third rail was on the outside, not in the middle. Trying to make it look more realistic. But they still had it set up with the third rail on the outside. So if somebody had a locomotive or coach set that did third rail prototype, it would, the rail would be in the correct location, which is fine when you got a electric locomotive, that's, the prototype has third rail on it, but it looks very odd with a steam or diesel locomotive having electrical shoes on the outside. I honestly don't know, Kyle. I almost want to say they both got bought out, I think. So they're a brand of another company, I think. I could be wrong. As I don't really do that much in O scale. I do have my first train set, which was 027. I have that in a crate or in a trunk. Every now and then I open up the trunk and you just feel, you can just smell the oil, coming out of the box. My idea tonight is to turn around and get ready for next Friday, because next Friday is going to be the local NMRA group, the Hudson Berkshire. They're having a thing in Del Mar, New York. And my thought process is that, since I got at least the track work down, bring everything down, and also ask questions on how to properly regauge stuff. What's what's a good source for. I want to say LaBelle is probably right now the best truck manufacturer, because they make trucks. Yeah, it sounds like fun, but like usually a lot of things, it's a lot more fun if it actually works. But without anything actually running on, I don't have anything that's gauged properly to run on a layout. So it's like going like, hey, here's track, no scenery. But to get people's interest, and have people go like, oh, this is interesting and all that, and show them that I'm actually making progress. I'm not just, hey, yes, I'm doing this. It's like, have them like, yeah, it's a start actually, Nissy. And like with any great things, it's that start that's the hardest to do. And I know Dan's model railroading journey. We said the hardest thing was actually starting. A lot of times he was when he was first starting out. Wait a second, I just thought of something. Now, let me do this. Here we are. Let's see. Da-da-da. Oh, hello. Thank you for coming, DES Media Productions. Thank you for wandering in. I'm still babbling on right now, but I'll probably turn around and actually start on the project. I'm still working on the locomotive. I was thinking on connecting the layout and making sure all the wires are connected and all that, but right now I want to see about getting at least the engine itself working, to sort of have something that can technically run on the track. But it is one of those things of trying to figure out how to do it correctly. So let me. Unfortunately, I don't do the elegant Schuylkill Valley Railway transition. All right, let's switch cameras. There we are. One of the problems is that that I have with my setup is that the overhead camera is actually connected to the blue screen, so that's why you see it bounce. All right, now the idea right now is to these right here are solid axles, and theoretically things that these would fit in here, but these, not sure why they did it for the smaller, for the 1/16 stuff. It looks like it's extruded, But this looks like instead they turned around and folded it in. You can see you might be able to see the crimped line in there, which makes it so they can't really, it doesn't fit there because you get that lip on the inside. So I might have to go the extruded aluminum route. I'm not quite sure how well that will fit entirely well. All right. Now, one thing I need to do is try to figure out how to figure out which one of these has to be sacrificial so we don't have use that one as our sacrificial one. Now, the challenge is turning around and as I figured out last week using math, that what we're going to need is 0.9. It's not expecting the phone to ring like that. Let's see. So if we go 0.9, or is it 0.19? I think it might have to be 0.1 because that's 0.9. That can't be right. So maybe it's 0.9. Actually, it's okay to go a little bit under because that was the original setup. So let's see, how am I going to be able to mark this? All right, barely see the mark on there. Put this on there as a backing. And how well is this tubing cutter going to work? And that's one of those things I'm hoping that this works out right. But since this is the first time doing this, it could seriously go awry. Let's see about marking this a little bit darker. Also try to get it in frame at the same time. Okay. And I do not know production-wise how they make something this small. And accurately make it. You see, run it a bunch of times. Just turn it a little bit. I mean, it looks like it's working properly. Okay. Looks like we might have one. Being aluminum, it's actually nice to see that there's a difference. I'm not quite sure if I'll be able to see the difference if it was brass. But let's see. How close is this to what we're aiming for? How close to 0.09 is it? Alright, looks like it's a little bit wide. But let's see how well that does. Alright, let's use another one of these as a holder for everything. Alright, so it looks like that using the tubing cutter has made the inside diameter smaller. On the one side. So it actually fits where the wheel's supposed to go. All right, how am I going to do this? But yeah, one of the things I have been doing, which I'll probably also bring with this layout, is I have been doing dioramas to sort of practice on scenery, and so I might bring them down also to show them off. I think there was one train show I brought them to, but at the same time, I was able to show them off, but the tables are a little bit far away. Let's see, will this work? Nah, this is what the C-clamps nowhere near. All right. Let's say we take this. This is taking way too much longer than I originally expected. All right. So, can I use this as a hammer. Trying to, since this is aluminum, this is much more delicate than the brass is. I'm trying to think, are they both the same? Thing is, the metal's so small, I don't quite have the right. Let me see. It's a bearing. All right. Oh, excuse me. Well, that's a bearing. So will that work? Yes, that works. Just enough to get everything working properly. All right, so I'm not sure why there's a bearing in the quartering set, but we'll keep that there for now, and we'll make another one of these. One of the things I probably should be doing to get this working right is to make the actual bearings the correct length. But as you can see, that's just sort of like U-shaped, and plus has a hole in the middle. I don't think I have that kind of equipment to do that. I would need to find, let's see, 132-inch flat stock, and then make a make a die with it. The 1/16 or 1/8 axles for the one side die, and what size would the other one? All right, this odd 25 1/28. It's not, let's see, the die's in the center, and I can't think of what the outside is. So, but yes, I wound up, actually, it was this ones that these are the nails that I wound up buying, not realizing that I had these. So they are slightly different. These are brads. This is a wire nails, so they got different heads on them. That's stainless. I'm not quite sure if this just says steel. So we might go with this, because I know sometimes stainless steel doesn't like to be with stuff that's not stainless steel. I know aluminum just goes bleh, and right now aluminum is the only one that I have that's probably good enough for what we're dealing here. I think I wound up going a little bit too far, because all of a sudden I'm not being able to. There we go. Needing to find a way to. This process is a lot longer than originally anticipating. All right. Another. Yeah, there we go again. See about marking that. I'll probably only get these two done. Yeah, the challenge is this is going deep enough where you cut the tubing, but not into into the tubing, but not the mandrel that you're using. Am I going the right way? No, I'm going the wrong way. So, Nissy, what are your plans for this evening? Ah, there we go. Yeah, much better light this way. Oops, that's not going to work. That'll be in the center there. No plans for tonight. So, well, then, if you have no plans, how do you know you're sidetracked? Or is that your plan not to say, I'm not sidetracked because it wasn't planned to begin with? Or is Mr. J gonna wind up giving us a surprise hello? Well, hello there, Carolina Foothills. Thank you for coming in. I'm actually in the process of wandering off soon, so give people a little bit time between me and Sidetrack Sunday, who is being done with Nissy this week. And would have to say that this week is one of the rare times that someone from the Sidetrack Sunday crew has seen the unauthorized pre-show of Sidetrack Sunday. I think every now and then, Rick pops in and says hi and then disappears. Which I have his mini-me around here somewhere. Unfortunately, when I started this particular layout, I took most of my stickers away. So I got like the second section podcast. That's one of them. Got a Rick Bailey mug and a Rick Bailey glass. But unfortunately, the glass and the mug don't really show up on our overhead view that much. Come on. How close are you from coming off? I would think that I'm close to the edge here, but why is it not coming off? Nope, it's not through yet. I mean, it feels like it's through, but it's not. But it's definitely deep enough to let you know that it's there. I think it might. Is it? Yes, maybe. Yes. And there's the second bearing. Hopefully, eventually, I'll get a better all right. Fell on the floor, so I guess I'm done for tonight. Let me switch back over. Probably look for it tomorrow morning when I can actually see what's going on. All right. Let's get the camera to bounce a little bit while I put the backdrop back in place. And we will switch cameras. Okay, I started a little late tonight, and it looks like I'm ending a little late tonight. So, well, morning, Monsville Railways. Unfortunately, I'm in the process of handing it over to Missy J. She's doing Sidetracks Sunday this week. She has no plans, so it's potpourri. So that's where I'm planning on to go after. She starts at 8. I usually try to turn around and end at 7:45, so people can have at least 15 minutes to do what they need to do. Well, hello there, Anthony Dodge. Thank you for coming in at the very end. I hope you had a nice time with your family, because family is important. So, as I like to close out, is that I believe the world needs more love. So find your passion, add some silliness to it, and oh, I guess so. That's the disadvantage of not having. Oh, yes, you did. All right. My apologies. One of the disadvantages when you're working in front of you and the computer screen for the chat is over that direction. So my apologies on that, but thank you for coming in. And yeah, I think the world needs more love. So find your passion, add some silliness to it, and spread it around. Bye, everyone.